Template literals. Template literals are string literals allowing embedded expressions. You can use multi-line strings and string interpolation features with them. Template literals are enclosed by the backtick, which the backtick key is right next to the 1 on the keyboard. First, I want to show you multi-line strings. Now, you can see this is on 2 different lines in the console. Normally, you can't just put extra lines and have it make a new line in the console. If I put a few more lines like this, you can see it's going to put a lot of lines in between these 2 lines. Another thing you can do with template literals is expression interpolation. Let me give you an example of that. So if I run this, you can see the expression interpolation happens with these symbols. There's a $sign and then these squiggly brackets. And anything inside the $sign and the squiggly brackets is going to evaluate and put the answer right into your string. Same with right over here. And you can see that it adds a plus b, 5 plus 8, we get the 15 over here. And that does also 2 times a plus b over here to get the 20. You can still use the new line just like you would do in a regular string. You don't have to give it a new line, but that would work. If I just put a new line just like that, you can see it's going to be exactly the same. The next thing I want to talk to you about is tagged template literals. This is basically passing a template literal into a function. Let me show you. So I have my function written, and now I'm going to pass a template literal into that function. The function is called tag, but it doesn't matter what the function is called. And let me run that. So you can see the last 2 lines here is what happens from this tag template literal example. It's going to run the function tag, and it's going to input this template literal. All the strings go into this strings array, and the values go into the value array. If you have ... that just means an array here. So the strings you can see are hello. There's also, so you can see the hello here, and then world right there is right here in the console, and then there's nothing right between this last expression and the backtick. There's nothing there, so that's shown in the console with an empty string. Now you can see the values in the console, 15 and 50. Well, it passes in the expressions as the values. So this gets passed in as 15 because 5 plus 10 is 15, and then this gets passed in as 50. So it goes through the whole template literal. First it takes out the strings, and then it takes out the values as the expressions. In this function I had return JS nuggets, but it's not we're not doing anything with that, so we can do this. If we console.log this and then we run this, you can see that it's going to print JS nuggets at the end. Now I want to show you a more complicated way of using tag template literals. Okay, this code I copied right from the Mozilla Developer Network page on template literals, and this code right here, and I just want to walk you through it. This is the function, and we're going to have this. We're going to assign this variable down here, t1 closure, to the function template, and we're going to pass in this template literal here. I'm going to uncomment out this console.log, and we're going to run this. We're going to look at the very bottom where it says yay. So when we passed in, we called the t1 variable, and we passed in the letters y and a, it printed yay. Let's walk through why that actually happened. In our previous example of the tag template literals, we returned a string, but you don't have to return a string because in this function we actually return a function. The strings and the keys from that we pass into the original function are right here. So we're passing in this template literal that gets broken into the strings and the keys. Then we are down here, we're calling the t1 closure variable, and we're passing the y and the a into the function that's being returned by the template. One way to help you understand this better is we're going to console.log the strings here and the keys. I'm going to comment out this, and I'm going to run it. And you can see at the bottom, the strings here, when we console.log the strings, that's blank string, exclamation point. Because it gives you a blank string because there's nothing between these these expressions in the template literal, and then we have the exclamation point at the end, and then it's 0, 1, 0. That's what we get when we pass in these expressions, 0, 1, 0. That's the keys from here. So now we're going to return this function, and the values from this function come from the y and the a. So let's go through this. var dict equals values. So we're going to the values array, and we're finding this index, values dot length minus 1. So that's going to be the last item in the values array. So remember, the values array is ya, and the last value is a. So we now var result equals an array. You can see it's surrounded by these brackets, and inside the array we're going to access this other array, the strings array, which is right over here. If you look in the console.log, the array at index 0 is nothing, so the result is going to currently equal nothing. Now keys.forEach. So we're going to loop through each of the keys. Now remember, the keys, if you look at the console, the keys array are 0, 1, 0. For each key, we're on the first key, 0. var value equals number.isInteger key. So is 0 a number? Yes, it is a number. And in fact, 0, 1, 0, those are all numbers. So this is a ternary operator. If it is a number and all of these are numbers, we're going to do the first thing before the colon. If they weren't a number, we would do the second thing. If you look at down at line 43 at one of these examples, we have something that's not a number. But for this example, all of them are numbers. So we are going to go to the values array and go to the index of the key. Remember, the values array is right here, ya, and we have the index. The first key is 0, so that would be y, and this is result.push the value, and that value is going to be y, and then we're also going to push the strings array I plus 1. So remember, I is 0, so that'd be 1. The strings array is right over here. 0 plus 1 is going to be still an empty string, so it's not going to push anything. So this is going to just push y. Now I'm going to go through it again, and we're going to use the next key, which is 1. So the next key, 1, is going to bring up the a here, and when it does result.push value, it's going to push the a in here, and then it's going to go through a third time. We have the key 0, which is going to go back to the y, and this time we're going to push the y, and when we go to strings I plus 1, well, I plus 1 is going to be 2 plus 1, which is going to be 3. So this is the strings array. This time it's not going to push on an empty string, it's going to push on the exclamation point at the very end, and then return results.join. So we have an array which is just y, a, y, exclamation points. And when we join each item in the array, it's going to put all into one string, and that's how we get yay for the string at the end. Now, if I uncomment out these and run this, you can see that this is going to do it's going to go through the same thing, but you're going to eventually get to this hello world. And if you want to go through individually and see how that all works out, you can. Well, thanks for watching JS Nuggets. My name is Bo Carnes. Check the description for links to more information. Please subscribe, and remember, use your code for good.